Hey, what's going on, my good people? Yeah, we still talking about Jelani because we need answers. We want answers. His family needs that. And in this video right here, I want to look at some of the information that was put out by the family, especially Jelani's mother, Carmen, because she was given details that she in turn gave to the public. And I think we need to pay attention to what she's been telling us. So, come on, ride with me. Now, Carmen Bolden Day is Jelani's mother, and she is the image of a strong black woman. So if you ain't never seen one, you looking at one right now. Know that. And she made a lot of moves for her son. This was the movement of a mother who cared deeply about her son. Listen to what she told us about the day Jelani showed up at the school on Tuesday, August the 24th.
I started doing my research then. I left Belleville, Illinois, and we went to Bloomington. I went to the Starbucks. I went to the school. I ended up speaking to the teacher in person, who then let me know. I found out that Jelani had actually been on the campus that Tuesday morning. At 6:50, he had logged into the computers on campus, put in some notes because he had clinicals that day, and he had 2 patients that he needed to see. However, he didn't show up for clinicals or the patient.
Yeah. Now, Carmen told us that the day that they called to let her know that Jelani was missing, she left her home and went up there. She was up there. And she said when she got there, she spoke with the teacher. And I'm assuming that she's talking about Kara. Because again, Kara was the one who got the ball rolling. Kara was the one who got the police involved. Okay? So when she spoke to this lady, she found out that Jelani had in fact been up there on campus. At 6:50 in the morning, to be exact, they said he logged into his computer to put in some notes. Okay? So he's working. He's still doing schoolwork when he's up there. And then don't forget about the fact that there was supposed to be a meeting between him and Kara, the professor. She told us that he missed the meeting. And I'm still clueless as to how is that possible when he was up there. He was already up there. So the question for me became, how the hell did he miss the meeting? That made no sense to me. And again, like I said in the last video, it makes you question whether or not he actually missed the meeting. I'm just saying. I'm still, that's a question for me. Now, we all know that Carmen officially reported Jelani missing on Wednesday, August the 25th. Okay? And y'all ain't gonna believe this. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. Listen to how she said she was able to make contact with a detective. Listen to this.
I later learned that the last ping on his phone was at 9:20. The detective that was then assigned to the case, let me back up because let's get to the part where how I got the detective. I called the professor because when I called the school to ask them if they had cameras, if they had seen my son, they kind of blew me off. It was like, okay, we'll get to it. So I called her because I'm like, okay, this is a faculty member and maybe she can make some progress for me. So I had her check and see if we can get the cameras to look. When she called me back, she told me that the cameras had already been retrieved by the police. And that kind of puzzled me. I was like, what? Because I just reported him missing. I hadn't even told anyone that he had been to Starbucks. So how had they had the cameras from Starbucks? But I listened to her, and then she said that she knew somebody in the police department that had some higher up authority, and they were going to get a detective on the case. And that is how I got a detective that day from her helping me. Got a detective that day. I spoke with the detective. I gave him everything that I knew.
Okay, so wait a minute. So Carmen said that she called up to the school looking for her son. She's asking them about the cameras. And they telling her like, look, we'll get to it later. They wasn't on it. They weren't fooling with Carmen. Okay? So she reached back out to Kara. Because it seems at this point now, Kara is her point of contact. Know that. Understand that. And when she reached out to Kara, she, again, inquiring about the cameras. Kara tells her, oh, they've already retrieved the cameras. And y'all saw the look on Carmen's face. She was confused by that. And she's thinking, how is that possible? She said, I haven't given them information about Starbucks, none of that. But yet she was told that they had already had the camera footage. And Kara told her that. And then, not only that, Kara, what we learned was that Kara is connected to the police department. Y'all heard what his mama just said. She got that detective through Kara. And I'm like, okay, so wait a minute. So she's the one who sounds the alarm. And coming to find out she's connected to the police department. She knows some people in high position there. That's what that sounded like to me. And I'm like, okay, now wait a minute. This is getting worse by the minute. This just does not feel right to me. And not only that, it seems to me like Kara has been 2 steps ahead of Jelani's own mother the whole time. The whole time. Through this whole investigation, Kara has been 2 steps ahead of her. And if they've already gotten the footage and Carmen hasn't given them any information, where do y'all think the information came from? And when Kara told us that she went to campus police first and they told her to wait 24 hours, she didn't want to wait. So she went to the real police, okay? And she didn't have them start pulling footage before Jelani's mother, Carmen, was even involved in the process. Now, Carmen is thinking this lady is helping her. But now I'm thinking, was she really? Listen to the narrative that these people was trying to push onto Carmen. Listen to this.
He's handled many things. And so the fact that he's in Peru, which is a town that only comprises of 1% of black people, that he's never been there before. Well, I've never heard of it until they found his car there. Then they want me to think that he actually took his car, parked it in this wooded area that you would only know about this area if you are from there, that you have been there, or you lived and grown up there, because it's one of those areas where you just don't find by going down the street. It's tucked away. So he didn't park his car there. Then they want me to believe that he parked his car there and he walked his little happy self to this riverbank, took off his shoes and socks and his shorts, and put himself in the water and drowned himself. Number one, my son was on the swim team and he could swim.
So it sounds like that they're wanting Carmen to believe that Jelani committed suicide. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Even when I did that video called Suicide or Murder, I was thinking the same thing. Like, that's a possibility. You know, and one of the things that factored into my thoughts was this news clip right here.
Jelani Day. Day's cousin, Ariel Day, lives in Chicago, and she says he came to visit family and friends in the city just 2 days before he went missing. She says nothing about his disappearance or discovery makes sense.
His dad actually has cancer, and Jelani is the bone marrow match for his dad. He loved his dad. He would come here in Chicago and visit him at Northwestern Hospital, sit with him, encourage him, pray with him.
Yeah. And so when I watched this, it made me feel like, well, maybe all of this was too much for him. You know, he's watching his father go through cancer. You know, he started this graduate program, and I'm thinking maybe it was too much. You know, so suicide was a possibility. But one of the things that I did not key in on, and I'm going to be honest, I did not key on was the fact that she said Jelani was a bone marrow match for his father. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, wait a minute. If he's a bone marrow match and he could possibly save his father, why would he commit suicide? That don't make sense. Because then you run the risk of them not finding another match and his father dying. And he seems like a very positive young man. Very positive. Hardworking. I don't think he would have wanted that for his father. So at first I was on the fence about suicide. And I'm just being honest. I was on the fence. But now, not so much. Now, another thing that stood out to me about what Carmen said was the fact that Jelani's car was found in Peru, Illinois. And it was found near 12th Street and West Clocks Avenue. And police told us that they found his car on Thursday, August the 26th at about 4:20 p.m. And Carmen alluded to the fact that this place so ducked off that you would have either had to have been from there or have known the area in order to leave that car there. And I agree with her. It's ducked off. But I know she said that Jelani had never been to this area. But I will say this. We don't know that for sure. You know, I have a 25-year-old son. I don't know all the places he's been. So we don't know that for sure. But, I mean, it does look strange. It does look ducked off, you know? Now, at some point, Peru police came out asking for home surveillance videos from the neighbors along Airport and Chartres streets in Peru. They said that they believe that they may have walked down those streets, either Tuesday or Wednesday. And if you look at this map right here, Chartres Street and Airport Road, they run alongside the YMCA. So they're suggesting that he parked his car and then he walked this route. Okay? And I don't know if it had anything to do with that video that surfaced, but they retrieved video footage, and it's this right here.
Police are trying to identify a man seen on surveillance video knocking on the door of a home in LaSalle. Relatives of Jelani Day say they have seen it and it is not him. The video shows a man knocking on the door of that home. When no one answers, he walks away. Day, of course, is the Illinois State University graduate student who was last seen on the 24th of August. Police say this video was recorded the next day. Day's body was found earlier this month in the Illinois River. It was positively identified on Thursday, and his family is upset it took police so long to share this video.
Now, this video was shown to Carmen on August the 27th. And she came out with this post right here. She said, if they deny what I've said, here's the date that they questioned me and asked if the person in the video was my son. She replied, that's not Jelani. And they said, okay, thank you. And kept it pushing. Now, in this article right here, it said that Peru Police Department, police detective received information from a surveillance video in LaSalle, Illinois of a male black knocking on a door. The owner of the property didn't know who it was and sent it to the police. Okay, now they trying to identify this man. But understand this, we just got this video. So if his mother told y'all that wasn't him, and now y'all consider him to be a person of interest, why the hell the video just coming out? I mean, because if this man just so happened had something to do with Jelani's death, he in the wind now. Y'all waited too long to put this out in the public. It don't make sense. None of that makes sense to me. Y'all, we got to keep digging for Jelani. We have to. What happened to him? I'm part of the movement. We all part of the movement. Okay? And just to remind y'all what a strong black woman sound like, listen to his mother.
And I mean this, Jelani did not die in vain. Not only whoever did this, I hope what they see me to always know I'm going to find out what happened to him. But Jelani's name will be remembered. Jelani is going to make a difference. My son is going to make a difference. He's going to help somebody else. This was not done in vain because my son told me that he wanted to do something to help people. His helping was to be a speech pathologist. But now he got in a whole different movement. And since he spoke for other people and he's not here to speak for himself anymore, his mom will definitely be his voice.
No, correction. We will be his voice. She's not in this by herself, and I need her to understand that. She's not alone. And if she's saying that this man in this video is not Jelani, then we definitely need to find out who this is. We own it over here. We ain't playing no games with them.
So make the news, nigga, and watch what happens. If you make it over here on this channel, nigga, we on your ass. Okay.